we are hearing Bhagavad Gita. Yesterday we finished chapter 16. Now chapter 17, Sraddha-Traya-Vibhaga-Yoga, or the principle of the division of the threefold faiths. Summary: Arjuna asks whether the faith of those who infringe the laws of scriptures is sattvic, rajasic or tamasic, even if they perform their daily yagyas with faith. Infringe. Let me see what is the meaning. The Supreme Lord answers, faith is of three kinds, characterized by sattva, rajas or tamas. Infringe means actively break the terms of law or agreement. Act so as to limit or undermine something, encroach on. Means violate, transgress, break, breach. So those who don't follow the laws of scripture. All beings have faith, and their faith varies according to their nature. Men of sattvic faith worship the gods. Men of rajasic faith worship the yakshas, and those of tamasic faith worship the ghosts and spectres. Men of demoniac temperament perform severe austerities full of ostentation and egotism, and thereby they either enervate or torment their inner self. 1 second. Ostentation. The pretentious or showy display of wealth and luxury designed to impress. So they are doing severe austerities full of this display and egotism, and thereby they either enervate. This enervate, let me see. Enervate. Make someone feel drained of energy or vitality, exhaust, wear out, all this. So they either enervate or torment their inner self. The Lord then mentions three kinds of food: sacrifice, austerity, and charity, in keeping with these three qualities. Duties performed with a faith based on any of the three mundane qualities will be only saguna, and hence trifling. Saguna means with these material gunas, so it will be trifling. But when they are done with devotional faith in God, they are nirguna, and hence they purify the heart, the seat of pure devotion. Pure faith is the keynote of all scriptures. For this reason, the Brahmanas perform all kinds of yagyas. Dan. Yagya means sacrifice, dan means charity, tapas means austerity, and ahar. Ahar means eating, with the word Om Tat Sat on their lips. In this chapter, the truth that man's religious faith and the nature of God whom he worships depends upon his own character, whether good, bad, or indifferent, is clearly recognized. Arjuna Uvacha Ye Shastra Vidim Utsrijya Yajante Shraddhayanvitaha Tesham Nishta Tu Ka Krishna Sattvam Ahora Jastamaha. Arjuna said, O Krishna, what is the support of the faith of those who ignore the laws of scriptures but worship with faith? Is it sattva, raja or tamas? Explanation. Arjuna said, O Krishna, a doubt has arisen in my mind. You have said in chapter 4, verse 39, that it is the faithful that attain pure knowledge. And again in chapter 16, 23rd verse, that he who oversteps the bounds of scriptures is led away by his capricious whims and attains neither success nor happiness nor the highest end. Now my question is, what happens when scriptural faith is ignored? Whether that sort of ignored faith will lead to the purification of heart, attainable by the practice of jnana? Please tell me whether the faith of those who infringe the laws of scriptures but perform with faith tapo yagya, jnana yagya, japa yagya, etc. is sattvic, rajas or tamas. Bhagavan Uvach Trividha bhavati shraddha dehinam sa svabhavaja sattviki rajasi chaiva tamasi cheti tam shrinu. The Supreme Lord said, the faith of a jiva is threefold, viz. Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic. That is according to the particular nature of an individual. Listen to that. Explanation. The Supreme Lord said, first hear about the faith of those who do not infringe the laws of scriptures, means they are following, and then about the faith of those who violate them. The natural faith of a jiva is threefold, sattvic, rajasic, tamasic. Sattvanurupa sarvasya shraddha bhavati bharata shraddhamayo yam purusho yoyat shraddha sa eva saha. O Bharata, the faith of all jivas is according to their nature. Every jiva has faith. A person is determined by the kind of faith he has. Explanation. O Bharata, all beings have faith which is characterized according to the nature of the individual. The truth is, sattva means pure heart. There are three kinds of hearts, viz. Sattvic, Rajasic and Tamasic. A sattvic heart has natural faith in sattvic persons and things. A Rajasa heart has natural faith in Rajasa persons and things. And a Tamasa heart has natural faith in Tamasa persons and things. If a person with a sattvic heart has faith in the devas, he is called Deva, Shraddha, Devata and so forth. That is why our Parangurudev said that tolerance should be there. Because in this world there are so many jivas and according to their relative independence, according to their actions, different actions, they will have different natures, different tastes, different fates, all this. So it is inevitable that there is such variety in this world. So tolerance should be there. If there is no tolerance, then you will always be disturbed. Because it is impossible to bring all jivas into one fold, one thinking, one group, one impossible because of their different actions and different natures. So tolerance should be practiced and be tolerant that everyone has to uplift himself from where he is. So there will be different kinds of practices and all this. So you cannot bring everyone into one fold. If you try to do this, it will be unnatural and you will cause disturbance to yourself and to others also. The jiva is my part and parcel and hence nirguna, that is above three qualities. He has been saguna, that is to say, confined within three qualities, owing to his forgetfulness of his relationship with me. He has imbibed a saguna temperament on account of his prejudices from time immemorial. Yesterday we heard this, anadi, beginningless. When we became averse to Krishna, there is no date in this material world. It is above this material world, so there is no this kind of time. When we became averse, then Maya catches us, caught us, and we are enveloped by saguna, three gunas. And then we have this temperament from time immemorial, since his enthronement in his fallen state, since that time when we became imprisoned or enveloped by Maya. His heart has been molded according to his temperament. Sattva means purified or tempered heart. And Abhayapada means the purified nature of the tempered heart. The fate of a pure heart is the seat of Nirguna Bhakti, and that of an impure heart is the seat of Saguna Bhakti. Until and unless fate becomes Nirguna, that is to say, aims at Nirguna Supreme Lord, it is lust or passion. I shall now deal with Saguna fate, full of desires. In Bhagavatam, this is also explained. One is Nirguna Bhakti, another is Saguna Bhakti. We are doing Bhakti, but with the view to attain something material. So that is with lust or with selfishness. And that Saguna Bhakti in Bhagavatam it is described is also of three kinds, Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic. So here Krishna will explain this Saguna fate. Jante Sattvika Devan Yakshara Kshamsi Rajasaha Pretan Bhuta Ganamshchanye Yajante Tamasa Janaha. Men with Sattvic faith worship the deities or devatas, means demigods. With Rajas faith worship the Yakshas and Rakshasas. And with Tamasa faith worship the hobgoblins or spooks. 1 second, spook. Ghost. Yes, I thought ghost, but it's another word. And hobgoblins. A fearsome mythical creature. Mischievous spirit, something. So according to one's conditioning, one will have certain faith and he will worship in that way accordingly, and he will have particular taste, and everything is determined by this. Ashastra vihitam ghoram tapyante ye tapojanaha dambhahankara samyukta kamaraga balanvitaha karshayantah sharirastam bhutagramam achetasaha mam chaivantah sharirastam tanvidi asura nishchayan. Know them to be possessed of demoniac faith, who are unconscientious, no conscience in the heart, what is right, what is wrong, no conscience. In Slovenian language that is called vest, no brez-vesti. Unconscientious, self-conceited, proud, desirous of lust, attachment and power, and who practice severe austerities not prescribed in the scriptures by tormenting the elements of the body and the inner self, which is my part. So body and inner self you are also tormenting, giving pain by such improper austerities. Explanation. The transgressors of Shastric injunctions have asura faith, means demoniac. The severe austerities not prescribed in the Shastras are practiced by those who are self-assertive and arrogant, desirous of immortal life or regal throne, and attached to austerity and power, like we saw Hiranyakashipu was doing such type of austerity. Those who enervate or enfeeble, make it feeble, weak, the bodily elements by severe austerities, such as long fasting, etc., and so torment the inner self, which is my part, are characterized by asura faith, or faith possessed by demons. So these shloka 5 and 6 contain an answer to the question in shloka 1, that is, he who transgresses the bounds of scriptural laws, etc. So they are doing this. And according to different yugas, there are different austerities prescribed. In Satya Yuga, they can do more than in Treta Yuga like this. And in Kali Yuga, because food came into, life came into food, there is no fasting prescribed for more than 1 day in Shastra. In other yugas, they could do 1,000 years or like this without food. But in Kali Yuga, only 1 day. And that also, you can take those things which are allowed. They will not break the fasting. Roots, fruits, and all this you can take. So all our acharyas, mostly they showed this example, they can fast, no problem for them. But because they see that we are unable, so they were taking this potato and all this, because it is more important that your mind is peaceful and body is okay, and you do service and Shravan Kirtan of Krishna, then that will be more beneficial than trying to fast without eating, without water, without anything, and then all the time thinking about food and being very weak and disturbed and all this. That will not be so beneficial. But if someone, due to some previous practice of austerity or something, he can do without water, that is no problem. But if his mind can be fixed on Krishna, if not, then better to take prasad, that which is allowed, and do Shravan Kirtan. So here, long fasting, etc., they are doing. These demons. Harastva-pi sarvasya trivido bhavati priyaha yagyastapas tadanam tesham bhedam imam shrinu. There are also three kinds of food dear to the people, and three kinds of sacrifice, austerity and charity. Hear about this distinction among them. Explanation. Three kinds of food and yagya, sacrifice, tapas, austerity, dana, charity, which are sattvic, rajas, and tamas by nature, are generally adopted by the people of the world. Ayush sattva bala arogya sukha priti vivardanaha rasyah snigdah stira hridya aharah sattvika priyaha. Food which enhances longevity, cheerful spirit, strength, health, happiness, and delight, and which is succulent, oily. Succulent here means, example is sugar, oily like milk, ghee, etc. Steady, that is fruits, and pleasing, such as frumenti, pious, is there to the persons of sattvic nature. Let me see, pious, I know it is kir, frumenti. An old-fashioned dish consisting of hulled wheat boiled in milk and seasoned with cinnamon and sugar. But I think here pious means this kheer with rice, not with wheat. Pious. So that is sattvic. Katvam lalavanyatuşna tikshna ruksha vidahinaha ahara raja sasyeshta dukkha shokamaya pradaha. Eatables that are bitter, that is neem, sour, saltish, very hot, very pungent, that is with chili, very dry, that is asafoetida, cauterizing. Let me see what is cauterizing. Cauterizing. Cauterize. Burn the skin or flesh with a heated instrument or caustic substance in order to stop bleeding or to prevent infection. means to burn, scorch, disinfect, like this. So which are cauterizing, that is fried peas, green peas, matter, fried peas, that is cauterizing. And bring forth sorrow, grief, and disease are there to the persons of Rajasa nature. They bring sorrow on account of temporary affliction in the tongue and throat, and grief for want of those eatables. So even when you are eating, if it is too much chili and very bitter, that neem and all this, they bring sorrow and grief because you are attached to eating such things. And if you don't get, then you will have grief. Chili also, people, they become addicted to chili, like drug or something. They cannot remain without. So this is Rajasic. And Tayamangatarasam puti paryu shitam chayat uchishtam api chamedyam bhojanam tamasapriyam. Eatables that are cooked 3 hours before and hence cold, destitute of juice or sap, that is to say stone of a mango, stanchy and stale, in brackets, for being cooked long before, that are the remains of another's dishes, that is uchishta. But here in brackets it is explained except that of the preceptors, means gurus and Vaishnavas. That is very good if you take. And that are foul, unclean, and unholy, such as onion, garlic, fish, and intoxicants such as wine, tobacco, tea, coffee, hemp, opium, etc., are there to the persons of tamasa nature. Explanation. Considering all this, those who are willing to attain eternal well-being must take sattvic food. But the true devotees refuse to accept any food that is not offered to God. Eatables that are offered to God are warmly accepted as His prasad, grace, by His nirguna devotees, inasmuch as they, being offered to God, are nirguna, transcendental, and are therefore dear to the bhaktas. The Chandogya Upanishad says that purity of food sanctifies the heart, and when the heart is made holy, perennial contemplation is possible, continuous contemplation. Impurities of food are of two kinds, viz. Internal and external. The former includes food that is unholy, not offered to God, and cooked by unclean, ungodly, and diseased persons. The latter comprises of food that is dusty, filthy, and contaminated by hair, saliva, or foul touch of others, etc. So our Gurudev also told, we are not vegetarians, or we are not eating sattvic food. Yogis, and they are very particular about this, about sattvic food. Gurudev said that give less violence to others, but still there is violence, but less. But if you offer to Supreme Lord, then it is transcendental and it will destroy all the sins, it will not harm anyone, it will benefit everyone. So devotees, they don't accept anything which cannot be offered to God and only offer offering. They will take as his prasad. And we are to offer only those things which are sattvic to Krishna. Not uchishta and all these things and unclean. You have to clean before you cook. And this onion, garlic, fish, and these things cannot be offered to Krishna. They belong to Rajasic and Tamasic nature. Nowadays, people, they only eat for enjoyment. So they are not considering any health or anything. Just what is pleasing to yourself. Whether it is healthy or not, it will produce harm or in the long run, no, they don't care. Just they want to enjoy and they think if I will become sick, then I will take some pills, and that is also poison nowadays. Those allopathic things, they are also harming with side effects and so many things, and also cheating is going on. So this is Kali Yuga, very sad to see. But one has to know how to eat healthy and offering to Krishna so that one can keep his health fit so that he can have continuous service of Krishna and not disturb mind like this. So you have to eat grains and vegetables and fruits, and that is best if you consult with some Ayurvedic. He will tell you what kind of fruits, whether cooked or raw, what kind of vegetables, what kind of beans, pulses, all this. And you have to have balanced diet, regulated diet, that is the best for health. I heard from Srila Bhakti-Vallabha Puri Goswami Maharaj and also from Gurudev to have control over diet, regulated diet, healthy diet. That is the most you can do for the health. If your diet is wrong, then that will most harm your health. So with some qualified Ayurvedic doctor, if you consult, that is very good. Of course, we may still become sick because due to our past karma, but at least we should give our effort. We should not just eat for enjoyment. Then that will be. It is also there in Upadeshamrita by Rupa Goswami. Atyahara, you should not eat too much and improper. Then that will disturb your devotion. And also here, Chandogya Upanishad, our Gurudev also used to quote this, Ahar Shuddha Chitta Shuddhi. When your eating is pure, then your chitta, your consciousness will be pure. And with Chitta Shuddhi, Dhruvanusmriti, you can have constant contemplation on Krishna. Otherwise, food will pollute your consciousness. So we have to be conscious of what we are eating and that it is offered to Krishna. And then there is internal purity of food and external impurity. So nowadays it is very difficult externally to get, so you have to wash everything. What you bring from shop, it is touched by so many people. They are not washing hands and they are eating with everything. So it is Kali Yuga. So we have to wash everything. Even if you are cooking, then you have to wash those. I don't know how to say that. That packing, that is also touched by so many persons. Better to put out and wash, or if you have to use, then you wash everything from outside also. But you cannot cook for Krishna in impure, with impure things and this. So here, one is food that is unholy, internal impurity that if not offered to God or not sattvic, and external impurity means here dusty, filthy and contaminated by hair, saliva, foul touch of others. So nowadays they are all touching everything from the shop, what you bring, so you have to wash everything. And when you are cooking, then you have to wash those packages also if you will have to touch it while cooking. Otherwise you put out and wash everything, then you cook. Because hair and saliva, they are not they are eating and washing their not washing their hands. They are eating and putting on the shelves, and when going to toilet they don't wash their hands and everything. So how you can cook with such things for Krishna? That is why we have to wash everything. Aphalakankshibhiryagyo vididishto ya ijjate yashtavyam evete manaha samadhayas sattvikaha. The sacrifice which is performed with a sense of duty by one bereft of any desire for fruit and which is enjoined by the scriptures is sattvic. Explanation. A sattvic yagya is one which is bereft of any desire for fruit, and it is performed as a duty enjoined by the shastric codes. Abhisandayatu phalam dambhartam api chaivayat ijjate bharata shreshta tam yagyam vidi rajasam. Know that to be a rajas yagya, O chief of Bharata's sons, which is done with an ulterior motive and for pomp. Some desire, you want to get something, that is rajasic. And for pomp, to show I am such a big person doing this sacrifice like this. For name and fame. Vidihinam asrishtanam mantrahinam adakshinam Sraddha-Virahitam yagyam tamasam parichakshate. A tamasa yagya is one which is done without any law, without any offering of food to God, without any mantra, spiritual incantation, without any offering to the priest, or without any faith whatsoever. In brackets, Tamasa Shraddha is not regarded as Shraddha, firm faith, inasmuch as it has greatly deviated from the central conception of the self. Firm faith or pure faith means by serving Krishna you serve all. So, but this tamasic faith is greatly deviated from this central conception of the self. Self should serve super self, means Krishna, that will be proper. But tamas is only this worldly selfishness, so it is very far from real faith. Deva Dvija Guru Pragya Pujanam Shaucham Arjavam Brahmacharjam Ahimsacha Shariram Tapa Uchate. Propitiation of gods means to satisfy gods. Brahmanas, preceptors, and the truly wise, purity, simplicity, chastity, and inoffensiveness are said to be austerities appertaining to the body. Explanation. Those intended to propitiate the gods, the brahmanas, the preceptors, the truly wise and the true devotees, and those that include purity, simplicity, chastity or continence, and inoffensiveness, all these appertain to physical austerities. Anudvega karam vakyam sattvam priya hitam chayat svadhyayabhyasanam chaiva vanmayam tapauchate. Austerities that are not unpleasant to anybody, that are truthful, dare, and full of beneficial words and conduct, and that include constant study and practice of the Vedas, relate to the austerities of speech. Manah prasadah saumyatvam maunam atma vinigrahah bhava samshudir ityetat tapomana samuchate. Austerities which are conducive to the serenity of mind, placidity, silence, self-control, and purification of heart are known as mental austerities. Let me see, placidity. It's like some kind of placid, not easily upset or excited, even-tempered, calm, equable, tranquil, unperturbable, calm and peaceful with little movement or activity. So this is austerity of the mind, serenity of mind, placidity, silence, not speaking all the time, nonsense. That is one kind of urge. Rupa Goswami also says we have to control the urge to speak. Whatever comes, he will speak. All the time speaking, cannot control speaking. But silence can mean you don't speak, but actual silence means you should not speak nonsense all the time, these worldly talks. You have to speak about Krishna all the time. When you will all the time speak about Krishna, then you can positively stop this wrong speech and you will be silent. Otherwise, if we are all the time under the control of these urges, speaking Vacho Vega Manasakroda, mind all the time, anger, all everything uncontrolled, then such person cannot do devotional service. Impossible. No time and no concentration. So these are mental austerities. Sraddhaya paraya taptam tapastat trividam narai aphala kankshi bhiryukte satvikam parichakshate. These three kinds of austerities performed by persons with devotional faith and without any desire for fruits thereof are known as sattvic. Explanation: when a disinterested person with devotional faith to the Supreme Lord performs these three kinds of austerities, they are known as sattvic. So also when one takes sannyas, tridanda sannyas, it is his duty to give three kinds of danda, means punishment, to body, mind and speech. Should not allow body to not be engaged in the service of Krishna, and to not allow any other speaking except Krishna, and to think anything else but Krishna. These three punishments we have to give to our body, mind, and so this is not actually punishment for false ego, but it is actually most beneficial for us to engage body, mind and speech only for the service of Krishna. So that is the practice of sannyas. Satkaramana pujartham tapodambena chaivayat kriyate tat iha proktam rajasam chalam adruvam. The austerities that are performed with great pomp for glory, honor and applause are transient, uncertain and are said to be rajas in this world. Explanation: a rajasa tapasya is that which is performed with great pomp for the purpose of self-glory, self-honor and self-applause. Rajasic. Mudagrahenat manoyat piraya kriyate tapaha parasyotsadaanartam va tat tamasam udahritam. The austerities that are performed with the zeal of a fool by torturing one's own self or for the destruction of others are called tamasic. Demons, they will do this. A tamasa tapasya is that which is performed with a view to bringing destruction upon another at the cost of self-torture out of their ignorance or malice. So you see, such people, they also exist. They want to harm others. That is their pleasure. And for this, they will practice austerity so that they can get such powers and facilities and all this. They exist. It is not mythological. They really exist. Datavyam iti yadanam diyatenu deshe kale cha patre cha tadanam satvikam smritam. A gift that is bestowed upon one who has not done any good, but is bestowed only in consideration of proper place, proper time, and proper person is called sattvika gift. Yat tu pratyupakarartham phalam udishya va punaha diyate cha pariklishtam taddanam rajasam smritam. A gift that is bestowed in anticipation of return for service rendered, or for celestial pleasures, or bestowed grudgingly with mental agony as after effect, is called Rajasa gift. Only this tamasic I'll read so that it finishes. Adesha kale yadanam apatrebhyascha diyate asatkritam avagyatam tat tamasam udahritam. A gift that is conferred in a place where and at a time when there is no need to confer, and on undeserving persons such as harlots, actors, dancers, or those who are not in want, and is bestowed disparagingly on a really deserving holy person, and out of contempt, is a tamasa gift. Disparagingly means like criticizing. Yes, derogatory. Expressing the opinion that something is of little or derogatory. So they will give to saint, but with this disparagingly. Out of contempt like this. That is tamasic gift. So according to guna, there will be such divisions of faith, sacrifice, austerity, charity, everything. So tomorrow we will hear about Srila Gaur Govinda Sai Maharaj. If any time left, then we'll continue this.